So our vision as Love Howick is to see our communities and especially our CBDs rejuvenated. And an urban renewal is a big thing right now in South Africa just because of the decay that we're seeing in our urban centres. And so one of our goals is not only just to fix potholes and clean up rubbish and make sure that the verges look great, which is obviously a top priority for investment and tourism. We also want to see them beautiful. And so beautified obviously looks like landscape gardens, parks, benches on the sidewalks, just so people can take a seat and enjoy the view, picnic, enjoy time with family. And so this whole move towards arts in our urban centres, I think, is not just, it's vital. It's not just a nice thing to have, it's vital for our beautification process, because when we start to beautify places, especially with arts, it draws communities together. Art expresses things that words can't. There's a sense of civic pride that develops when you walk down the street and see something beautiful and go, this is my place, this is my home. Exactly, so we want to see art.
Jackal and Hide, that sounds like something I've heard before. Isn't a story about a Howick character?
You're nailing it, yeah. So it comes from a story called Dr. Jackal and Hyde. And the story is that it kind of talks about this bipolar character who is kind of normal in one facet of their life and then morphs into this kind of monster character.
I think but we definitely are inspired by sort of fictitious narratives.
Yeah.
I think the other thing that's important is that all of us have got a front stage and a backstage, and what you present out into the world is your front stage, and then your backstage is everything that you kind of keep hidden. And we like these murals to be a sort of a surprise, where there's more that meets the eye. It's not just a mural, there's a story behind it too, and there's this sort of secret element that you've got to kind of dig deeper to find.
Sure, don't know where to start.
So I'm Jaqui
Jono.
Lelo.
So I've been painting murals for about 15, 20 years. I worked in the advertising industry for a while and sort of got a bit disillusioned with how advertising works, and I was never really a fan of the marketing power of brands and public advertising in general, and started to move away from the marketing design world and into public art. And 2.5 years ago I opened an art gallery called Gallery Zola, and in the process met Lelo, and in the process met Jaqui, and during that time we were doing a lot of public artworks and exploring the ideas of having stories attached to murals. And we did an exhibition at the gallery called Here and Now, which was our first sort of example of developing a visual narrative and having sort of narrative built for the murals and access through QR codes. And then after the gallery closed down, we kind of took that concept and wanted to reinvigorate it into the public space and make it more accessible, and it's just been a kind of roller coaster of ideas. And
welcome to Boomtown is our public art festival that we do every year. We didn't do it this year, but we are looking to continue it next year. And basically the idea is to get local artists, hopefully international artists in the future, and to do a public art festival in Hilton. And so the first year we had 9 local artists, and they painted along Hilton Avenue, and the idea was to to kind of bring tourism into Hilton, because a lot of people drive past it to get to the Midlands meander, but very few people actually drive through it as a tourist destination. So that was the kind of the idea behind that. And also it's linked to our public art gallery in Hilton, which is being developed at the moment. There's lots of beautiful art there already.
I've seen the Hilton siding mall.
That's exactly.
The bridge, when you just drive past there, it's like wow, and it looks amazing. And some of the bus stops as well.
Yeah. So the idea is to attach QR code stories to those murals too. But yeah, we're just in the process of getting it to that sort of PowerPoint where we're kind of ready to officially launch it. Obviously you can go and visit it now, but when we launch it to the public, we want to sort of go in with a bang.
Yeah, there's still more murals to paint under the bridge, and there's more stories to tell, and there's more labor to tidy it up.
Yeah.
Me and Lelo have been working.
Can't stop Lelo. I think what's also important is from my side as the writer and the storyteller, and obviously we collaborate on all of the stories and the ideas. You know, this is very much a collaborative project, and the ideas are spanned from all of us. But part of the reason why we wanted to attach the QR code stories was not just to have that element of surprise and storytelling, but also I believe that people aren't reading enough. I believe that, you know, people aren't listening to stories in the same way. And if you can link your cell phone to a QR code, get a little bit excited and then listen to a story and immerse yourself, I think it's a wonderful interactive way of bringing storytelling.
It's a practical way.
Yeah, and I mean also get out of your house and explore.
Yeah.
And to realize that there is a lot of beauty in this area. You know, not just natural beauty, but art too. And to sort of get out of your house and go for a little bit of adventure and hopefully stumble on some magic along the way.
Yeah, I think that adventure is very core to the concept of trying to activate certain parts of the public space, and then using the narrative you can kind of connect the spaces. So you could have chapter 1 with the mural in one place, and with the geolocation to get someone to go to the next place and find the mural, and then listen to the chapter 2. So it's a great way of moving people through space and sort of activating them to get outdoors and to explore and adventure and have a sense of, as Jaqui says, a sense of magic about what the outdoors can be. You know?
Yeah. What's your experience? What made you go for one?
Okay, firstly, I was specific with that Gogo because she's the lady that I used to see every time when I was going to Gallery Zaza, when we went to gallery. So I saw her, she was old, getting up early, going to work, she was looking after the family. So it was like my granny. So yes, so to see them at that age, I've learned to appreciate them while they're still alive. So I wanted to portray her, even though she was like, oh no, it's fine, you can paint me. And then after that painting, she stopped using that fast job because she felt like everybody was looking at her.
She was famous.
And then she's like, people can see that's me. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good part. But and also for me to see her there every day. And see her on because I took when me and Jono went to her working space.
Yeah.
So she was at her working space where she was holding a broom, and then she was tired. And then just to capture that face and every detail. So every time I passed there, I could feel that she's working hard, but she's still keeping it. She tried to smile, but she's old and she got to keep that face. And so I would just appreciate them while they're still alive.
That's good. That's good. I appreciate them while they're still alive. That's a very important thing.
Or you can contact us through the Jackal and Hide Instagram or Facebook page. The Jackal and Hide Instagram page is jackal_online. So you can so you can easily contact us there.
Or at Welcome to Boomtown.
Oh yeah, Instagram.
Just the Jackal and Hide Instagram and Facebook pages have only recently been launched because this Love Howick project was the first one that we've done under that brand name. So yeah.
I mean, we've been kind of chatting to Matt over the last year and a half about doing a potential project. I think our sort of goals align in terms of trying to rejuvenate public space, and Matt saw us as a way of embodying some of what he wants Love Howick to be.
Yeah.
So we became a vehicle for doing that work and sharing the same sort of goals in public space.
Yeah, he also said that Hilton doesn't get to have all of the street art. He wants some in Howick too, which was also a really nice positive. Which was a really nice positive response. That this is something that every town wants, which is great.
I have the art center in Mpophomeni, Lelo and Jono came to help us out with that one as well, and I used that in my background on the podcast for a while. That helped me out because that just gave me a spot to do my podcast for a while. It was just good. But you just face the camera that way. You don't need to see what the camera is saying.
Nice.
Face it that way, we are good. Whole way, but yeah, that was actually very nice.
I think it's primarily funding. So I mean, like, we do a lot of commissions for restaurants and gyms and office spaces and a lot of different projects, and a lot of the time it's kind of facing outwards, so it blurs the lines between private and public, so people can sort of see the art walking past sometimes, but it doesn't. It's there for a reason for that brand, and I think we'd always like to do more sort of work in public that is for public good, and the agenda is only to entertain and uplift a space.
It's an artist thing, and all artists want their work to be seen. You don't want to hide it.
Yeah, but you also have to be paid for what you do, so to find people that are willing to sponsor things just for the public good has been a challenge in the past, and I think that's kind of our idea with Jackal and Hide, is to try and find some alignment in sort of corporate social responsibility. The goal is to kind of like have some overlap in terms of what a brand story might be.
And their corporate social responsibility.
Yeah.
So
But I mean, tap into kind of some of the elements of what that brand story is, and then repackage it for the public. So it's not seen as advertising for a brand, but that brand can use that sort of imagery online as a campaign. But it's about getting like the public advertising out of the public space and changing the visual landscape.
I thought they have become more like that. That lady was a beautiful lady, man. Beautiful story as well. Thank you very much for that. You inspired me as a writer as well. People say that our things are dying arts.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you very much for having us.
Cool. You guys are amazing.
Nice one.
No area left out, so that when people come here, they can start to see an outdoor gallery of art, and those QR codes that they can scan and find out the kind of the story behind the art, I think is powerful, because pictures tell 1,000 words, and words really do inspire people and sort of draw people together. And so we want to use story, the power of storytelling, the power of arts, the power of community involvement and engagement to really bring about a renaissance in this area in the Midlands. Using technology, again, inspiring all generations to be part of that. So when you walk through town, you can kind of scan your QR code, look at your art like you would in a gallery, and enjoy the story behind it, enjoy the beauty of the art, and feel a sense of pride in the place that we live. So we want to jump on board and say to people who are listening to this, get involved. If you've got a business, if you're a community member, local governments, let's start coming together to see our town and our communities beautified for the sake of everybody. It will drive tourism here, it'll increase investments in our place, but also it'll bring communities together. So let's jump on board, sponsor a mural, get in touch with us, and think about the way that your brand and your company can get into this space, because it will promote who you are, it will promote what you do, because lots of people will be drawn to this beautiful art.